I'm devastated. I'm devastated for my hospital, my future there. I wish it never happened at our hospital.
Her name is Brianna Aguirre, a nurse at Texas Health Presbyterian who did not treat Thomas Duncan, but entered the unit shortly after he died.
It was extreme chaos. It was unbelievable. The nurses were just throwing our hands up saying, you gotta be kidding us. Who is here to tell us what to do?
So chaotic that when she found out cleaning crews wouldn't be allowed into the contaminated area, she says she grabbed a mop and started bleaching the floors herself.
Did you ever receive any type of Ebola training?
Prior to Thomas Duncan entering, no. It never even was discussed at all.
But her biggest concerns are for fellow nurses Nina Pham and Amber Vinson, who did treat Thomas Duncan in what she feels was inadequate protective gear.
This is what makes me so upset right here. Her neck is hanging out. Her neck is exposed. Can you imagine that being Nina right there and her taking care of copious amounts of diarrhea, vomiting, aerolized secretions? And that's what makes me upset, is knowing that she did. And then they want to blame her for getting sick. It's uncalled for, and they should be ashamed.
But in an updated defense of its procedures tonight, the hospital said more than 100 caregivers involved in Mr. Duncan's care have been interviewed. And the consistent and universal theme we've heard is that all caregivers reported being consistently compliant with utilizing the appropriate protective equipment in accordance with guidelines from the CDC. And then Aguirre was among the nurses who helped treat Nina Pham, only to learn later that her colleague tested positive for Ebola too.
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move.
But Aguirre is talking now because she says administrators who claim all proper precautions were taken don't know what they're talking about.
They probably don't have any idea what's going on at that patient's bedside. Being the nurse that's actually in there putting your life, your family's life on the line.
As for her life, Aguirre is monitoring her own temperature every half hour, is keeping her 2 daughters out of school, fearing they'd be ostracized there. And as for nurses Pham and Vinson whisked away to other hospitals for treatment, she wanted to tell them this.
It's not your fault. You're America's hero, and we're all rooting for you.
Rooting for them and praying Ebola claims no more.